yesterday I was talking about what Dan Lanning is building at Oregon. Very, very, very high on it. And I was asking the question, will it be harder to win in the Big Ten than the Pac-12? And I said all along, I think the Big Ten's much deeper and tougher. Now, this past season, Pac-12 was legit, but it isn't always like that. And, of course, it does vary year to year generally. But I think for the most part, Big Ten gets better players, up and down rosters, tougher environments, tougher weather, and I think it's deeper. So, therefore, I think it's going to be harder for Oregon and Washington in the Big Ten. Now, Joey Harrington disagrees with me, and he thinks it's about the same. So, Bartu was listening yesterday, College Football Matrix, and he texted me, and he said,
"Give us the data."
Yeah, it's all about data, and the way he looks at it is how many top 25 recruiters are you going up against in either league? And he said there is 1 in the Pac-12. There are 6 in the Big Ten.
Ooh.
So it's not close. And when I'm thinking about those 6, obviously it's Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, probably Wisconsin, top 25 recruiter.
Probably.
Maybe Iowa.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who that would...
Who else would it be in there? And again, that varies year to year too. But
Michigan State.
Maybe Michigan State. Maybe. But anyway, he said the perceived difficulty in the Ducks going to the Big Ten is just that Oregon is now a top recruiter in the nation. They're a top 5 recruiter. So because of that, you look at it and go, well, it should be about the same. Well, it's not going to be about the same. It's not. And it's going to be much tougher in the Big Ten. That's not to say that the Ducks can't get through there unscathed, because they are recruiting better than everyone in the Big Ten, not named Ohio State, which is really wild to say. So that's why maybe we are not really making that big of a deal of the move from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten. But if you go, dang man, go 3 years back, go back to the year before Dan Lanning took over. And if I were to ask this question, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, dude, Big Ten, that's gonna be tough. We want it. It's good for the program. They'll make more money, but it's gonna be a lot tougher." Well, I think our tune has changed because Oregon is recruiting so well, but it's gonna be tough.
I absolutely would have viewed it as that's the necessary move to make for survival, but it's going to be an uphill battle. And now it's like, well, they should be able to handle that.
Well, and next year, too, the other thing about it is this next year is the only Big Ten schedule we have to go off of. Oregon got a pretty good draw. I mean, so we've gone through this a million times already, but it's not even June. We're jonesing for college football here, but the Big Ten schedule is at UCLA, and they were just gutted. They host Michigan State and Ohio State.
Win. Michigan State, that is. Maybe not Ohio State.
Yeah, look at you. Already chalking up the Buckeyes.
No, not doing that.
It's your
that
toughest,
should be a great ball game.
It's your toughest game by far, and it is at Autzen. And then at Purdue, home to Illinois, at Michigan, who got gutted, home to Maryland, at Wisconsin, and then you host Washington. And again, the way Oregon is recruiting, that seems manageable. Now you go look at Washington. Now think about it from Washington's perspective. Those guys got gutted, and they are going to play Northwestern at home, at Rutgers, home to Michigan. Then they're at Iowa, at Indiana, versus USC, at Penn State, host UCLA, and at Oregon. I just think those games like at Iowa, even at Indiana.
Yeah, going to
games
Bloomington.
Like
yeah, a lot of these games might be one of those, like, what do they call them, the bring your own juice kind of games, and some of them just they're in tougher conditions later in the year. Yeah,
like for Oregon, we're gonna overlook the Wisconsin game, dude. You're going to Wisconsin.
Going to Camp Randall's no joke.
In November. With a lot on the line, as Harrington always talks about with us. It's like as you get into November, things change because you see the finish line. If you're undefeated or you've got your eye on the prize, the conference championship or whatever it is, it gets harder and harder to win because one, more teams are gunning for you, knowing that, and two, you know it, and it's tough, and you get tight. And so how many times have we seen Oregon drop a game late in the schedule, usually in November, in the Pac-12? They lose at Arizona or Arizona State or wherever. You tell me Wisconsin? That's a nasty one. November 16th.
And that's going to be a nasty one every time you have to play it.
When I think there's games like that, more
Yes,
games
more
like
like that, for
in,
sure.
in the Big Ten. At any rate, that's what he said. I don't know. This would be a question for another day, but as strong as Oregon is right now and has been recruiting, and as much as people like Dan Lanning for the future, young coach, but he's got a lot of pieces in place. Is it okay to expect a national title in Dan Lanning's tenure? However long that lasts. Expect that. Will it be disappointing if they don't win one? Or is there some old school Oregon fan in there that's, that just it's enjoying the ride? I don't know. That's a question for another day, but it's one worth talking about.
And I think that
Oregon's in a window.
I'm not sure that all those things are mutually exclusive either. I think that you can possibly expect it, but if you don't get it, still enjoy the ride. So,
yeah, I just wonder where. Right, that's true. I think my question is now going to be, where are expectations for the Oregon football program?
Yeah,
jumping into the Big Ten, are they even higher now, or have they hit their ceiling?
Have they diminished? Did you think your team had a better chance of winning a conference title before you went to the new conference? Like, were you more likely than winning? You're probably more likely to win the Pac-12 than you were to win the Big Ten, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I think a few years ago, people would be like, "Yeah, the expectations would go down. You're moving to the Big Ten. This is a whole different ballgame."
But now maybe they're lateral or
now,
better.
Yeah, because they're recruiting so well.
Yeah,
they got a lot of momentum. Anyway, we'll cover that some other time.